Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een, amma ba'd. The author says, ثانيا المذهب المالكي. Second is the Maliki school of law. The Maliki school of law. يرى فقهاء المالكية حرمة وصل المرأة شعرها ولم يقيد المالكية الوصل بالشعر واستدلوا على تحريم وصل المرأة شعرها بعموم الأحاديث الدالة على لعن الواصلة والمستوصلة. أما عدم تقييدهم الوصل بالشعر فقد استدلوا بحديث النهي عن وصل المرأة بشيء. She says that the Maliki fuqaha, the jurists who follow this madhab, they hold the view that it is unlawful for a woman to extend her hair. It is unlawful for a woman to lengthen her hair. And there aren't any restrictions that they put on the lengthening or the restricting or the extending. Regardless whether it's hair or regardless whether it's other than hair. Any extension or lengthening they say is haram. Obviously using the hadith regarding the impermissibility of a woman extending her hair, whether it is with hair or with something else. So that's the first point. She then says, وَقَدْ خَالَفَ فِي هَذَا عدم تقييد الوصل بشيء الليث بن سعد فقال إن النهي مختص بالوصل بالشعر أما ما عداه من صوف وخرق فلا بأس وليث بن سعد مجتهد لا ينسب للمذهب وأوردته للتشابه بين ما ذهب إليه وما ذهب إليه بعض فقهاء المذهب. She says the next point is there is another scholar whose name is Layth ibn Sa'd. Layth ibn Sa'd rahimahullah, as she clearly states, doesn't necessarily have a traditional or orthodox school of law. He's not like Malik or Abu Hanifa or Shafi'i. He was a great alim and he was an independent alim. He was mujtahid. But he didn't necessarily have a school and a alumni of disciples that survived the test of time. But I've mentioned his statement because it's similar to what some Maliki ulama say. And that is that it's only impermissible for a woman to extend her hair with actual hair. It's only haram for a woman to extend her hair with actual hair. As far as other than hair, such as wool or yarn or things like this, then there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Point number 3. والشذ آخرون فقالوا إن مفهوم الوصل أنها لو لم تصله بحيث وضعته على رأسها بدون وصل جاز لأنه في هذه الحالة مثل الخيوط الملوية كالعقوس الصوف والحرير فإذا فعلته المرأة للزينة فلا حرج عليها في فعله فيلتحق بأنواع الزينة ولا يدخل في النهي. And others, and these other points are showing that this isn't the dominant view of the Maliki ulama. This isn't the dominant view, meaning that the standard madhab is like this, and there are some individuals, some people who are scattered that hold different views in their Maliki ulama, but that's not the official madhab. Like a city, a culture, the culture of New York City. This is the general culture of the Muslims from New York City or from the people in general, non-Muslims. But there are a few individuals that have their own cultural values and don't agree with the vast majority. But that's not said to be the New York style, the New York way. Everyone knows that this is what it is in New York. But there are a few individuals who have their own personal reservations on these issues. That's what's being said here. So she says that there's another group of Maliki ulama who say that if a woman doesn't extend her hair, then it is permissible. If she doesn't extend her hair, meaning if she places something on top of her head. If she places something on top of her head, it's not actually extending, it's not draping down and hanging down. Alright? And this goes to show us how some fuqaha hold different views because of linguistics. The hadith says wasila. Wasal means to extend, for something to stretch out. So if it's on top of my head, then it's not haram. This is what they're saying. So based off of that view, one would say a woman will be allowed to have a hair bun. A bun of hair that's not her actual hair. Something that's on the top of her head that's not hanging down. طيب. Point number 4. She says, وَالشَّذَّ آخَرُونَ فَأَجَازُوا الْوَصْلَ مُطْلَقًا. And there are other fuqaha of the Maliki madhab, and they have, she says, shadda. They're totally rebellious against the majority, and they're totally away from the majority. They say that it's permissible, period. Period. You can extend your hair, have fake hair, it's nothing wrong with it at all. Alright? Now obviously when we mention these statements and these views, it doesn't mean that every single view is considered and every view is correct. But this is a study. And her book is an extensive book. It's a broad study, okay? Moving forward. She says, عِلَّةُ التَّحْرِيمِ لَدَى الْمَالِكِيَّةِ تكمن علة التحريم للوصل لأن فيه تغييرا لخلقة الله سبحانه وتعالى فقد قالوا لأنه لا يحل للمرأة التلبيس بتغيير خلقة الله تعالى كمن تصل شعرها إن كان قصيرا بشعر آخر طويل. She says here, why is it haram according to these ulama? What is their reason for saying that these hadiths say what they say? She says the wisdom behind the prohibition to the Maliki scholars is that it is changing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation. It's altering the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. And when a woman cheats and deceives, as if she's changing Allah's creation, that's not how Allah made her. So if her hair is short and she makes it long, she's changed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's natural creation. She's changed Allah Azza wa Jal's natural creation. وبما أن هذه هي علة التحريم عندهم فلا بد إذن أن تكون هناك أشياء درجة النساء على استعمالها مما قد يختلط في الذهن بأنه وصل وليس كذلك وقد استثناها فقهاء المالكية من حكم الوصل فمن الطبيعي أن يخرج منه كل ما لا تزوير فيه مما لا يغير خلقة الله أو خلقة الله تعالى فنجد أنهم قد استثنوا الخيوط المروية كالعقوس الصوف والحريري وربط الشعر بالخرق أو خيوط الحريري الملونة لقصد الزينة والتجميل فهذا لا يشبه الشعر فلا ينهى عنه إذ هو ليس بوصل ولا في مقصوده. She then says, and since this is the reason behind this thing being prohibited according to these ulama, then of course there are going to be many things that women use that aren't included in the prohibition. Things that they put in their hair but are not haram according to this school of thought or this school of law, this mode of fiqh. And that's because it isn't considered to be deception nor change in Allah Azza wa Jall's creation, such as different hair ties and hair bows, such as different things that a woman uses to fasten her hair together, different colored strings and things like this that are used as adornment and beautification for the actual natural hair. For the actual natural hair. It isn't deception, it isn't changing Allah's creation, nor is it actually extending the hair, so it's nothing wrong with that. She then says, خلاصة رأي المالكية ذهبوا إلى تحريم وصل المرأة لشعرها مطلقا بشعر أو بغيره إلا مخالفات يسيرة لما في ذلك من التلبيس بتغيير خلقة الله تعالى أو خلقة الله تعالى. It says here that the summary of the Maliki view is, the bottom line, is that it's haram for a woman to extend her hair, whether it's with human hair or other than human hair or anything else, except for some small things which are not hair or not meant to be hair. And the reason why it's haram is because it's changing Allah Azza wa Jall's creation. Al-munaqashatu wa ta'liq. She then now debates on a few points here. She's now going to debate on a few points from their madhab. Number 1. وللرد على هذه الآراء المخالفة في مذهب المالكي وغيره أقول مستعينة بالله تعالى قول ليث بن سعد يخالف صريح الحديث الصحيح في زجر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أن تصل برأسها شيئا وأما من أجاز الوصل مطلقا فلم أرى مستندهم في ذلك فيما وقفت عليه من كتب أوردت رأيهم أو أوردت رأيهم. She says here, as far as the view of Layth ibn Sa'd, who said that a woman can extend her hair if it's as long as it isn't hair, then I say, seeking Allah's help, that clearly goes against the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ forbade a woman to extend her hair with anything, hair or other than hair. That's number one. Number two, as far as the ulama of the Maliki madhab who hold the view that a woman can extend her hair, period. She can wear fake hair, a wig, it doesn't matter. She says that I haven't seen any dalil for that. I didn't come across any proof or evidence or any sound reasoning in any books that I've come across. Now, stopping the tape for a second, one may argue and one may say, perhaps some of the Maliki ulama held the view that a woman could wear fake hair with conditions, such as a woman inside of the house with her husband. Her husband knows the length of her hair. He knows that she's going bald, or she has a sickness, or he knows that that's not her natural hair. So no one is being deceived. There is no prostitution or anything like this in the street. It isn't changing nothing from Allah's creation. It isn't something in which is going to have an after effect, like shaving or trimming eyebrows. It isn't cosmetic surgery. It's something that a woman puts on her head, and she takes it off and she puts it back in the closet when she's done with the wig. That's it, khalas. So perhaps that was their rationale. I'm not saying that that's correct, but perhaps that was their mustanad. Perhaps that was their reasoning. Whereas it's clearly mentioned, according to the author, she herself said that they hold it to be haram because it is changing Allah's creation. And putting on a wig or fake hair isn't changing Allah's creation. It's not sharpening or filing someone's teeth. It's not getting surgery, which increases and the effects are permanent. It's on and off. Just like a person is allowed to dye their hair, that's not the normal color of my hair. A man, he uses henna, even though there are clear texts to support that. It's not about one's brain or one's reasoning. It's the dalil states using henna, but we're trying to make a point here. Everyone knows that the man's hair is not red. This is well known. The brother is, he's a black American brother. Everyone knows that his hair isn't orange. His hair isn't red. That's clear as day. He doesn't have that color hair. Okay, he's not a redhead brother. All right, it's not in his genes. So one may say, is that deception? And one may say, well, that's changing Allah's creation because his hair is supposed to be gray. It's supposed to be white. He's old now. He's not a full red beard young guy. Okay, so perhaps that was their reason why it's permissible. All right, and we're not saying that's the correct view. Moving forward, she then says, وَأَيًّا مَا كَانَ فَهُوَ يُخَالِفُ النُّصُوصَ الْحَدِيثِيَّةَ الصَّحِيحَةَ وَالصَّرِيحَةَ فِي لَعْنِ الْوَاصِلَةِ وَالْمُسْتَوْصِلَةِ. She says, regardless of what their reasoning is, it goes against the clear, authentic ahadith that are right to the point regarding the permissibility of extending hair. وأما من شذ فقال إن وضعه على الرأس بدون وصل يجوز بمنزلة خيوط الحرير الملونة وغيرها فقد رد القرطبي عليهم بقوله إن هذه ظاهرية محضة وإعراض عن المعنى. She says, as far as those who say that a woman can put it on top of her head, and is not extending her hair, and it's like a woman having colored threads or different strings and things like this to hold, or pins in her hair like this, then Al-Qurtubi, and he's a Maliki, he says this is just totally too literal. This is just worship of the literal too much. And it doesn't look into the wisdom and the reasoning behind the Sharia. It's zahiri, it's just too outward, too much, too literal. All right? And obviously that's a very long discussion with regards to zahir, the literal text, and the dangers of always digging and going too deep. Is a balance in that we have explained in other books and other classes, and how that's the asl. And the zahiri ulama, they have the asl with them. Okay? Moving forward, she says, وَهَذَا يَتَرَتَّبُ عَلَيْهِ جَوَازُ الْبَارُوكَ وَغَيْرُهَا أو وغيرها كما تسمى في الوقت الحاضر مما يوضع على الرأس بدون وصل. وللرد على هذا أقول مستعينة بالله إن تحقق علة التحريم كما حددوها التلبيس بتغيير خلق الله يبدو أشد في لبس ما يوضع على الرأس دون وصل إذ يظن الرائي لأول وهلة أنه الشعر الحقيقي غالبا، وكم فوجئ أناس برؤية من اعتادوا رؤيتهم بشعرهم المستعار كما يسمونه، وهم يرون هيئتهم الطبيعية عند نزع ذلك الشعر. ومن ناحية أخرى فقد ورد في الحديث أن امرأة جاءت إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وابنتها عروس قد تمرق شعرها. ورد حديث آخر بلفظ تمرق رأسها. She says, based off of that view of those Malikis, that a woman can put something on top of her head as long as it's not extending her actual hair, she says based off of that view, it says that a woman can wear a wig, because the wig is on top of the head and it isn't extending her hair. It's not like a weave or some type of extensions, braids. This is an actual wig on the actual cranium, the dome, the headpiece, and it's not hanging from here, but it's actually on top of her skull. She says based off of that view, then that would be permissible to do that. And she says that this is incorrect, whereas it is deception, and it's changing Allah Azza wa Jalla's creation. And how many people think that they see someone, or when they see someone, that's that person's natural hair color, natural hair length, and then when they see them in another picture, or without their natural, or without their fake hair, they're totally shocked. And it's cheating. Now, we stop the tape for a second. What the author is saying right now sounds good, but the same wisdom and reasoning is applied to makeup. Is it permissible for a sister to wear makeup? Some people want to say, yes, it's permissible. As long as she's not in front of non-mahram men, she can put on makeup. Tayyib, stop the tape. What happens when someone sees her without her makeup? As it is said in the modern media, modern world of media, stars and different actors and politicians, when you see them without their makeup on, it's like, ugh, what is that? Who are you? I'm not used to seeing you like this. So is it haram now to wear makeup? Okay, now we have clear hadith stating that it's haram for a woman to put something on her head. So that's not even an issue, but we're just trying to show you how the reason it has to be used all around the board. It can't be used here and not used there. So just because someone thinks that someone has long hair, doesn't mean that it's necessarily haram. Just like we mentioned with a woman adorning herself for her husband. A woman adorning herself for her husband, and a woman dyeing her hair for her husband. It's not a haram color, and her husband knows that that is not the color of her hair. Period. It's well known. Yet and still she uses it to adorn herself for her husband. She moves forward and she says here, another point, as the hadith clearly says, is that the woman who had her hair and it was falling out, and her hair was ripped up. All right. She says جاء في النهاية يقال طيب. She then goes on to mention some linguistic meanings with regards to the hadith, that the hair was actually falling down. Okay. So for a woman to put something on her head and not actually extend it, the Prophet ﷺ, he also forbade it. He forbade it. Even though she wasn't extending her hair, it wasn't adding her to the length of it, she's putting it on top of her head like a wig. All right, like a toupee or whatever for a man. So this is proof, she says, that it was haram. And it's unlawful to put something on top of the head as well. All right, khairan inshallah ta'ala. She then concludes all of this by saying, فَمَفْهُومُ الْحَدِيثِ أَنَّا لَمْ تَكُنْ عَلَى رَأْسِهَا شَعْرٌ فَلَا يَتَحَقَّقُ الْوَصْلُ الْمُجَرَّدُ وَإِنَّمَا يَكُونُ بِمَعْنَى الْوَضْعِ وَاللَّهُ تَعَالَى أَعْلَمُ بِالصَّوَابِ. طيب. Khairan inshallah. So that's the end of the discussion of the Maliki view, the Maliki school of thought, with regards to fake hair, with regards to extending hair, wigs and extensions, and different things like this. Khairan inshallah ta'ala. Moving forward, the author is then going to mention the next madhab, which of course we know in chronological order is going to be al-madhab al-maliki. Al-madhab al-maliki. We'll stop here for this session. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.